Hello my friends, and welcome back. I am Carl, and today I am reporting straight from Park Presidio in San Francisco, where my wife and I are here for 4 weeks. So I intend to film more here and hopefully be able to connect with you in a slightly different way, as this for me feels right. It feels like home. And it really allows my mind to go places that when I'm maybe at home indoors, I am unable to. So this is today's video, which is going to be about empathy, which is one of the domains of emotional fitness. And I'm speaking a little different than I've done in the previous videos on this series, because I'm making this a one take, meaning I am turning on the camera. I'm not going to pause or edit. It's just going to be a raw video, and to see how it lands with you. And when it comes to emotional fitness, we've already talked about awareness. We've talked about emotional control. And now we have to get to the core of emotional fitness, which lies in empathy. And the reason it's at the core, it's because this is where we start to see ourselves reflected not only in other people, but in ourselves. And I want to dive into this a little bit today. And I want to start with the definition of empathy, which loosely states that empathy is the understanding and ability to share someone else's feelings. Key word in the definition here is ability. This means that empathy is a skill. If empathy is a skill, then it has a progression. And if it has a progression, there are steps that we can take to get there. Now, anytime that we hear progression, we try to rationalize a process that is linear. But think about anything in your life that you have found meaningful. It has always been convoluted, complex. It has taken twists and turns and directions that you could have never imagined, but it was those exact twists and turns that gave you the information that you needed. And one of the concepts that I've been reiterating over the past couple of months in sharing these videos is the idea of being able to move from being reflexive, this is being reactive, to being more deliberate, meaning to being conscious, to choosing to participate in that which we're doing, and that being practice. So when it comes to empathy, there's no linear progression, but there are different types of empathy. And in this video specifically, I wanted to share 3 types of empathy that once we become aware of them, we can notice them in ourselves, we can notice how we apply them with other people, and ultimately how we can apply them with ourselves within our practice. These 3 types of empathy are, number 1, cognitive empathy. Now, cognitive empathy is the mental empathy. It's the one that allows us to think ourselves into the position of someone else and thus be able to experience their feelings. And in this case, it's important to address that a feeling is a mental model. An emotion is the experience that we embody of a situation or a circumstance. In other words, the feeling, the mental model, is our description of that which we are experiencing emotionally. And this is what creates our mood, our affect. And as I've said in previous videos, our mood or our affect is the lens through which we see the world, through which we experience the world. So when we have cognitive empathy, what we're doing is we're intellectualizing our ability to put ourselves in somebody else's position. This, although positive because it is rational can be disconnecting. So this is where we have to bring up the other type of empathy, which is emotional empathy. And emotional empathy, just like I was stating earlier, is the embodiment, that's the emotion, of somebody else's experience. Let's say somebody is crying and you witness them crying. If you exercise emotional empathy, you may start crying too. This, although positive, because now you are really connected, when it comes to the practical outcomes of being able to exercise empathy, may lead to trickle-down effect that doesn't allow the emotion to be properly processed and a practical outcome to come out of it. What do I mean by this? This is kind of like sitting in an airplane, and let's say there is cabin pressure loss and you have to put on a mask. This is like the safety instructions say, put your mask on first before you assist others. If you are experiencing emotional empathy, you may not be cognitively aware of the need that you have to put on your mask first so you can assist this person. In other words, empathy is a skill that we as humans use for connection, but also assistance in helping other people regulate themselves. This is important to notice, is that we don't just regulate ourselves, but we also regulate and are regulated by others, the same way that I am regulated by this environment that I'm currently in. So, why is this important? Well, because cognitive and emotional empathy are both important to realize that they combined create the third type of empathy, and this is compassionate empathy. Compassionate empathy is being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, to exercise that sympathy, to experience the emotion, but without succumbing to it, without going on the roller coaster of the emotion itself. And being able to live in a place where you have compassion for somebody else is a place where now you can be of service, you can be of assistance. And this being, in my opinion, the ultimate ability that we have as human beings to connect with not only others, but also ourselves and the environment that we live in. So how does this apply to our practice? Well, if you think about your physical practice as an emotional experience, we've talked about this before, if you are going to practice something physical, you are going to get to the edge of your abilities, and at the edge of your abilities, you're going to experience an emotional reaction. With empathy, we can allow ourselves to create a little distance between ourselves, the witness, and the emotions that are coming up, and use that emotion to tell us, reveal that which we need to see to make a better decision, and thus exercising self-compassion. Another reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you're watching this video, it means that you care about developing, you care about improving, you care about living in a state of constant adaptation, of growth. And this state of constant evolution can be a painful one, a rocky one with peaks and valleys. And what will keep you going steady in the direction of serenity, peace, unity, understanding is the exercise of self-compassion. And by exercising self-compassion, you'll be able to do this for others. And this is not only others as in other human beings, but also animals, vegetation, and this planet. And that, if you ask me, is the most powerful tool, instrument, and outcome that we can receive, polish, and use to learn through our practice, regardless of what it may be. So that, my friends, that is my video for today. If you watched all the way through to this point, then all I can say is thank you. I appreciate you being here and listening in. If you have questions, leave a question in the comments. If you are enjoying this series, make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you can be told when I release a new video. But if you've been following, you have probably noticed that I am trying to release one every week. Other than that, I'm happy to be where I am right now. The weather is beautiful, everything is green, and I'm going to remember this moment as, like all moments, they are simply in passing. All right, much love, everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.